I was able to break into tech sales while I was working at the mall. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you the best way to break into tech sales today. Really quick guys, before we get into it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also like the video, that way you don't miss future updates like this. All right guys, step number one. Let's say you have no tech experience. You're like me, you didn't go to school for IT, you got nothing, but you're just like, I wanna get into tech sales because I want a good salary and a remote job, yada, yada, yada. Step one, very simple, very simple. Don't mess this up, by the way. Do not mess this up. Step number one is to stop applying and DMing recruiting managers like everybody else. Are you serious, bro? That's what everybody's telling me to do. You're telling me to not do that? Yeah, bro, I'm telling you to not do that. The reason why we don't want to apply like everybody else and DM recruiting managers and hiring managers is because everybody's starting to do that, okay? Everybody's been applying, that's nothing new. But a lot of people now are DMing recruiting and hiring managers, which means these people have a huge flooded inbox and your message probably isn't gonna get seen. And unless it's really good and you know how to stand out, you're probably just gonna get looked over anyways. So what should I do instead? There's 3 specific steps you need to take. And the first one is actually the hardest. Okay, tell me what to do. Step number 1, you guys, is to get clear on your story, okay? You need to have a story of who you are, but also why do you wanna get into tech sales? This is really important because if you don't have this really buttoned up during the interview process and you spit out some very vague, generic answer, you're pretty much gonna get declined right there on the spot. So what was your great story, Danilo? What did you say when recruiters asked you why tech sales and why us? So kind of you to ask. My story when I first got into tech sales was, look, my father recently passed away. I'm looking for a way to get in a career that can be quite lucrative from a monetary perspective. And the reason I wanna do that is because I made a promise to my mom to get her a new home because we had to sell the one that we grew up in. Also outside of that, I have a broader vision to one day retire my mom. And I know a career like tech sales is something that could actually help me do that. And based on the research I've done at your company, folks are not only having the right salaries, but they're making the right amount of commission that could really help me achieve my own personal goals. The point you want to take away here, guys, is that the story is unique. It's to myself. It's not something that everybody can say. And it has nothing to do with those vague, generic answers of, oh, I just want a high salary and I want to work remote and I want benefits. No, okay, we need to give a very specific story that's all about you, your personal experience, and try to weave it into a personal goal of yours as well. I want to work at this tech company because I have the personal goal of XYZ, and your company is a place where I think it could really happen. All right, now that you got your story out of the way and cleared up, what you want to do next is also very simple. I take it back, it's actually kind of hard if you don't know anything about tech. What you need to do is figure out what do you want to sell, right? What type of technology do you want to sell? And make a list of companies that actually sell that stuff. And the reason this is so hard for a lot of people is because they don't know what's out there. Like if you don't know anything about tech, just think about it. You're like, well, what do I even sell? It's like going to a mall you've never been to before and knowing every store that's in there. You're not gonna know unless you actually get in there and see for yourself. The best way to find this out, guys, is to ask yourself some questions like, what kind of tech do I really care about? Is there any kind of tech that actually interests me? Or more importantly, is there a certain tech skill that maybe I want to learn or an area of technology that I want to become an expert in? To be honest, I just really want the money. Honestly, if you're just here for the money, your job is going to suck, you're going to have a miserable life, and you're not going to be happy. You need to be a little bit more invested and have a genuine interest in what you sell, or else you're not even going to be convicted during the sales process, and you're probably not going to be successful. All right, guys, so once we have the list of companies and once we get clear on what we want to sell, the last step is actually the simplest. And I really mean it this time. This one is super easy. What we have to do is first, go on LinkedIn, then find the company that you want to work for on LinkedIn, then find employees at that company with the job title that you want. Send them a connection request and ask them for 5 minutes to chat about their current experience at the company. If you do this to 10 people, one of them will say yes. And when you get on that phone call, talk to them like a friend, talk to them like a normal person. Don't be super corporate and formal. It's a big turnoff. And just ask them, how's it going at the company? How did they get in? And any other things that you genuinely want to know about the company. Now, at the very end of that conversation, you need to ask the most important question here. What's the question? The question you want to ask is, based on our conversation today, sounds like this is a company that actually lines up with what I'm trying to do and what I want to sell. I'm curious, would you be comfortable putting me in as a referral? Guys, this is the best way to get into tech because when you get in as a referral, as opposed to a general applicant, as opposed to someone who's DMing the recruiting manager, you get to skip the line. Skip the line? Yes, you get to skip the line. Literally, you're gonna go to the front of the line. You're gonna be in a separate stack of applications that come in as referrals, not just general applications from the street. This is the best way to increase the likelihood of actually getting an interview and also taking fate into your own hands. Not just blindly throwing your resume in an inbox, but actually having someone on the inside who can tap the right people on the shoulder and say, hey, take a look at my friend's resume here. I think they're gonna be a great fit. So overall, guys, that is the best way to get into tech sales. Now, I do have one bonus tip for you. What's the bonus? The bonus tip is to start posting on LinkedIn. Bro, are you serious? There's a lot of people on LinkedIn, and I don't want to tell people that I'm desperate for a job and like that's gonna be hard. Like, please, really? Is that what I gotta do? Trust me, I have seen so many job applicants posting vulnerably about their experience, about getting denied, about how hard it is to get a job. And some people will blow up their posts. Some of them get tons of engagement, and then there's people in the comments offering them different positions. So really, guys, with the LinkedIn piece, there's nothing you have to lose. Start sharing your experience. People love the reality that people go through, and it's almost like a drama that they get to attend in real life. So with that, guys, if there's nothing else, start posting on LinkedIn about your journey, start building a little bit of a personal brand for yourself, and increase the likelihood of you getting noticed. So there you have it, guys. That is my 2 cents on exactly the absolute, hands down, best way to get into tech sales in 2023 and beyond. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, got some value out of it. If you did, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to like the video. Also, follow me on LinkedIn, and don't forget to sign up for our free weekly newsletter where we're giving awesome, actionable tips to help you stand out from 99% of sellers in the field. With that, guys, have an amazing day, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Cheers.